you make a set of dipoles for the bottom, be 135 feet, and you make a set of dipoles for the top, be 120 feet. So now you got the whole band covered.
Yeah, but you got to spread them apart. Don't they have to be, spaced a certain amount of distance from each other? Otherwise, the wires are all going to be together. It's going to be. I don't see how you could recognize the frequency change if they're all touching each other.
Well, if you use insulated wire, you don't have to worry about it. They don't have to be that. They don't have to be 4 port. I've seen guys doing that with old-fashioned telephone wire. They got insulated on it. They just tied each wire together. Don't matter. The RF's still gonna like which wire more better. Yeah, you get, of course you get interaction with each other, but it ain't gonna do nothing. Once you got it tuned, it'll work.
Well,
you go down the bottom of the band and says, pretty long piece of wire. Hey, I'm happy. You go up top sign. I see a shorter piece. Yeah, good. I'm happy.
But that's for a tuner to tune and find that wire that's shorter than the long one, right?
No, I'm talking about a few tuning by hand. Forget about a transmatch.
The radio's going to find the distance on which wire it likes, if it's a short one compared to the medium one or the long one.
Right.
And they could all be coming off the same feed point.
Right.
That's without separation. I thought they would all cancel each other out and just everything with the RF would just follow the longest lead.
No.
Well, I'll be darned.
They only cancel out when each side are near each other, but they're opposite polarity. If, for instance, you took a dipole and bent both wires so they were both parallel with each other, facing one direction, well, at one point in time, one is negative and the other one's positive, so they're going to cancel. But if there's two wires right next to each other, and at one point in time, one side's positive, both of them, and the other side's negative, both of them, well, they ain't going to cancel.
Well, maybe I shouldn't use that word cancel. I just meant that they would, react, interfere with you when you're not making it all one. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I think I remember hearing something in the literature about a band dipole. As long as they graduate further apart from one another, they should not cancel out. They can be right on the same connection point where the coax hooks up. At that point, they can both be on the same point. As long as they graduate going outward, they don't, make a dip and then come back up, that would mess you up. But as long as they graduate going out farther apart, I think that's allowed.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I recall on the fan dipole. I remember that, reading about it way back when, and I found that pretty interesting. I said, how about that? Look at that. You could have multi-bands with the fan, as long as they weren't canceling each other out. Of course they couldn't be together, but what Tom is saying, he's bucking that idea and saying, no, you could actually have all of them, just side by side, and there would be no cancellation, and yet the RF would find a short one from a long one and a medium one. That's hard to believe, but I guess, I don't know if anyone's tried it. I know a band dipole with the separation, I know that works, the multi-bander.
Yeah, but you're using the wrong terminology, cancellation. Okay, if they're for different bands, and they're close to each other, they're going to interact.
Right.
But if it's the same band, how you can't they interact? But cancellation only occurs when you got a plus and a minus next to each other. We know, opposites they're going to cancel each other. But in other words, when you got a dipole up there, at one point in time, one side's positive, the other side's negative. That's why they don't cancel, because they're farther away from each other, and that's why they tell you don't put them close like 90 degrees, because then they're too damn close to each other and they cancel. So that's why you keep them apart. The angle like 120 or more, better, or at least 90 apart. But if they're if you got two wires in the same direction hooked to the same feed point, and they're both, you got two wires on one side, two on the other, and at one point in time, two on one side's positive, two on the other side's negative. Well, the ones that are both positive, they ain't gonna cancel each other because they're both positive, and the two that are next to each other that are negative, they ain't gonna cancel each other. Now, if you took one of them and put them parallel with each other, then yeah, because one, one's going to be positive and negative, and they're going to be right next to each other, and they're going to cancel.
Yeah, I probably shouldn't use the word cancellation, and I try to retrieve that when I said that.
Yeah, like I'm saying, if they're for different bands and you got them close, they can interact. And what that would mean, it ain't gonna hurt nothing. It'll just be a pain in the ass tuning it. You'll tune one, when you put the other one on there, it could be, you go to tune that other wire, it's gonna see some radiation from the other one next to it for a different band, and then it's gonna change. It could be a pain in the ass tuning them. But if they're for the same band, it ain't gonna do much.
All right. So there's a difference. We know cancellation and separation. Cancellation is one thing, separation is another. And if you're on the same band, it don't matter if you cut one or two wires for frequency, and they're all coming off the same feed point, and they're all touching short, medium, and long for the variance of the various frequencies you want to be on that particular band. But when you do multi-bands, then you got to separate them so that the frequency of each band would be cut for wherever you would want to be, wherever you would want your dip to be.
Right. You could have them near each other too. As long as when we say touching each other, you want them to have insulated wires so they ain't actually touching. But if they're very close, it'll be more pain in the ass to tune them. So if you separate them, it'll be a lot easier.
Okay.
No matter what you go on this band and you got them, you tune the antenna for this band. Now you got another set of wires for 40, and you got them way separated. Well, now when you go to tune the thing for 40, well, the 80s are pretty damn far apart, so it ain't gonna bother it so much. So if it's on top of each other, then it's gonna change it, and it ain't gonna hurt nothing. It'll just be more pain in the ass to tune it. Be going back and forth.
Yeah. This is a hell of an addiction that we have, isn't it?
Yeah, he is. But in your case, like I'm saying, just to make it easy, if you got the wires, just make another set of wires for the better way you want it for. If you wanted to have a better SWR up here, then just make two wires that are shorter than what you got. Because if you go down at 3700, you want it better here. Well, up here it's going to be shorter, right? So you make a set of wires shorter. That's all. It could be worse.
Well, how would you tie off a short wire, like say a 40 meter? Although that would have that again, you would have separation, not cancellation, but.
What do you mean, Tony? You mean if you had them apart or you had them close?
Yeah, in other words, you're saying that as long as they got a jacket on the wire, they could actually be, I'm thinking, how would you tie off a short wire? When you're going to have an insulator, have the rope on that end to pull that to the pole wherever you're tying that. say a 40-meter wire. If it's cut for 40 meter, you got one for 75 meter. You got to have something where you're going to pull each of them from each side of the antenna. The dipole, how you going to do? You're going to have rope pulling the 40-meter wire, which is going to be a longer rope pulling it to the same pole, and then you got a 75 wire on top, one way or the other.
Well, you can't picture a rope around an insulator of the 40 and then have the rope go over towards the wire of the 80 and tie the rope around the wire of the 80 so that the 40 just hangs down a little bit.
But I would put a spacer between the ropes where you got a 75 meter with an insulator on the rope, and then I would put a spacer coming down like a stick or something, a PVC pipe very thin for lightweight, and then have the wire on the bottom of that and pull it, maybe put the rope in the center of the spacer and pull them that way. I don't know, I'd have to jury rig something up like that, maybe. I don't know, I gotta think about it a little bit.
I would put your main rope on a longer one. The other one, you could just have short pieces of rope going from the ends of the other one over towards the insulator of the longer ones, instead of having to go all the way over to your mast of your tree.
Yeah, the tails.
Yeah. So it's one. In other words, the top one's going to be holding the bottom ones up.
Yeah. I think you guys seen pictures of that. I go to my antenna book and look at that. I wouldn't mind doing something like that. That sounds interesting.
You can't picture that in your head.
Yeah, I know, but sometimes a picture says 1,000 words, Tom.
Yeah, I know. We'll get a piece of paper, draw a picture. Yeah, I'm saying, okay, yeah, you got, looking at one side, you got two lines with an insulator on each end. Well, the top one, you have it all the way going over to the tree. The bottom one, that insulator, you have the rope going over towards the insulator of the top one. In other words, the top one's holding the other with the rest of them.
Yeah.
The top one holds all of them. Yeah, there you go.
Oh, is that the top holds all? The next outburst of energy I have, I might give it a shot.
I did that in the past for one base board right then, like I'm saying, just two wires. Years ago, guys used to use the old-fashioned four-wire. Remember the four-wire telephone wire?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we used to strip it down and long enough and use that for the dipoles. All the wires were each wire was insulated, but then you got an outer jacket, and they just cut that outer jacket and make so it opened it all up, and then just each of them other wires, you just made them, for the different bands. One real long, the other one shorter, another one shorter, so you went up in frequency. So you had to,
They did, but they worked real well. They just don't carry much power.
Yeah. Well, the idea of it, it's so damn simple that people make such a big deal of it. That's why people buy stuff.
Oh, I know. Well, when I started in this hobby, I didn't have any money. So I had to figure out how to do it the poor-boy way. Well, there is a lot of ways to do this, and it really works pretty well. It really doesn't cost a lot of money.
Yeah, right. Well, if you know the theory, and you're a little mechanically inclined, it ain't hard.
Help. If mechanically inclined, help.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's what made this great nation, because of the effort, the motivation, the ambition, all that stuff coming together.
Here at exactly right. I'm still trying to figure out what happened.
What is the mother of invention?
The need.
Correct. Necessity.
Now what do we do?
I think it was science. The mother of invention is science, knowledge.
Need. The mother means, in other words, why was it invented? Because somebody says, hey, I need this to happen, so what am I gonna, there ain't nothing out there to make it happen, so I gotta invent something. That's the whole saying, the mother of invention is, or when they say it the opposite. The necessity is the mother of invention.
Everything is the mother nature, mother know-it-all.
I don't know how many of you guys were born in the 50s. I was. And in my lifetime thus far, we've seen more progress and more innovation and more of everything than probably any generation that has ever lived and possibly could ever live.
Yeah, true. Yeah, I was born in 43. Well, the subject of the Mayan civilization came up years back, and there was a long video of a guy explaining that. And he says, he showed, like through the years, the centuries of, how things, like inventions and stuff like that. And yeah, as time went on, closer to like now, more things were made at a shorter amount of time than they did way before. For instance, it might have taken 100 years to make a lot of stuff, where now shit, 10 years.
Oh yeah.
Well, man's gaining more knowledge. The knowledge is motivation. We become more motivated, come up with more ideas.
Before, hey, people simple, hey, look at when a country's formed, and then, the frontiers. What people needed? You needed a gun, an axe, a knife. You went out there to make a house. You had to chop down a tree, make a cabin, a house, or something. You got some oil for your lamp. Make candles with wax. Maybe you got it something. So I mean, it wasn't a hell of a lot you needed, and that people were satisfied. That was it. Well, now, we want this, we want that, and because all this other stuff was invented because we wanted this, we wanted that, and everything else. But before, hey, people were happy with what they had. They were happy with what they had.
Now you give them participation trophies, put them in time out, and give them a safe space.
Well, I wonder sometime how much little part that greed plays with all of that right now today in our world. We all have wants and needs. Give me this, give me that. I have to have it, I need it, I want it, I love it.
Well, going back to my example, guy went out hunting, he shot something, took it home, knew how to skin it, knew how to cook it, and that was it. Now, we got supermarkets, so other people are doing that, but now you need you need the machinery so the factory could do the skinning and the killing and the skinning and all that and the preparing. Then now you need vehicles, a truck or something to bring it someplace. And then I have to go to the supermarket, And you need vehicles